What's up YouTube? Jason here, Morph, Mixology, Reptiles. Welcome back to the channel. This week's video is going to be another clutch update since I'm like apparently 6 or 8 clutches late on this. I don't know how it all happened, but I skipped a whole bunch in there. So the next handful of videos are all going to be clutch updates for those of you that enjoy that. This week's an interesting one though because there's a little bit of a twist in it. No pun intended. You'll understand why in a minute. But we got some really cool stuff here and I'm really excited. So I wanted to try for some Super Enchi combos, and more importantly, some Super Enchi Scaleless Head combos. You know, I really enjoy what the Scaleless Head does as an enhancing gene in its single form. You know, we did hit the Super Scaleless this year. Controversy aside, I think it's a cool project. If you're not trying to shoot for supers, just don't breed it like a super, you know, just like champagne. We all know that super champagnes are lethal. You know, but a lot of us use champagne because it's a really cool gene. You just know not to put champagne to champagne. So I think the Scaleless Head stuff by itself, if that's the way you want to go, is a fantastic enhancing gene. It brightens it, it screws with the pattern a little bit, that kind of thing. So we did a Scaleless Head combo to an Enchi combo. I'll show you both of them first, and I'll show you some of the cool stuff that we hit. This is a really interesting clutch. I got some neat stuff here. Let's go check them out. Alright, you guys are no stranger to this guy. We've seen him numerous times. This is Hades, our Pastel Enchi Scaleless Head. This is the sire to our Super Scaleless we hit this year. You know, and she, by the way, is doing just fantastic. Actually, let me grab her real quick, just because I know a lot of people are interested in seeing updates on her. Let me grab her and show you. Real quick, here she is, the Pastel Scaleless Possible Enchi. As you can see, she is growing like a weed. She eats absolutely everything I put in front of her without fail every week. And crazily enough, one of the things I'm noticing, the Scaleless shed far more frequently than a regular, quote unquote, regular ball python, or scaled ball python, I guess is the way to put it. Hey, sit still. And so as what happens is she eats a nice big meal, whatever, every week, and then almost immediately goes back into shed. So that's part of the reason it takes them so long to get to size, is because they're constantly shedding. But yeah, she is doing fantastic, growing like a weed. Still available too if you guys are interested. Okay, so we've got Hades here, the male Pastel Enchi Scaleless Head. Nice super high expression. You guys all know him. He's been around for a while. But this year, we not only went for the Scaleless, but we also put him to Maggie, the Calico Enchi Pinstripe, because I wanted some Super Enchi stuff, so we got the chance at that. I wanted some Calico. I love Calico. Maggie here is a fairly low white Calico. I like the super high whites. Those are my favorite. But Calico itself is a really underrated gene in my opinion, something we need to work more with. And then who doesn't like Pin? I mean, Pin does a ton of really cool stuff. So Calico Enchi Pinstripe and Pastel Enchi Scaleless Head. Let's see what we got. All right, so first up here, and some of these are still available. I'll let you know which are which in this case. First up here is this female Calico Enchi Scaleless Head. I don't think she is pastel. She could be, but I doubt it. Possible Super Enchi, by the way. Typically a Super Enchi will have the eye bands absolutely connected across the back of the head. You'll see that later. And you know, so there is a chance she's super. She is really reduced banded in that, so I'm not 100% sure, but I just have her labeled as a Calico Enchi Scaleless Head. She's got a really nice high expression, much like the dad. Obviously a female. Calico stuff because you don't get to see much of it until, you know, maybe 200 grams or so, a couple of sheds, that kind of thing. Then what is in here is kind of like foggy and pink almost, will start to really come to life in the white. I love what it does to the tails. It like really pulls the pattern together, really stripy. kind of orange in this case, but this is going to be about a 50% high white calico. This should be really nice when it sheds. A really good balance of the pattern on top and high white sides. So female Calico Enchi Scaleless Head. Again, possible Super Enchi, but we're not labeling it as such. She is still available. Now, unfortunately, this male is in shed because when he is cleaned up, I'll put a picture up as well of a really clean, but he is deep in shed, so I'm not gonna screw with him too much. But this is a Pastel Super Enchi Calico. Pastel Super Enchi Calico. So you see on the head pattern where the eye bands wrap all the way around and tie in the back. Dead giveaway on Super Enchi. Similar amount of banding though, that's why I'm not sure on that last girl. But what's hard to tell here, because you can see his eyes are deep in blue. He's really deep in shed. You kind of get a feel for it though. This is a extremely high white calico. This guy at 300-400 grams is gonna look insane. The white comes up, you know, almost to the spine. It's pretty wild. Like I said, I'll put a picture up here so you can see him. He's just got this really nice contrast color spine and then these super high white sides. This is exactly what I was hoping for, was more calico stuff. I probably should keep him just because he's incredible, but I do still have him listed. If you're interested, let me know. But male Pastel Super Enchi Calico. Next up, this girl, she's already spoken for, but what we have here is a Lemon Blast, so Pastel Pinstripe. I have her listed as possible calico as well. I tend to think she's going to be calico, just a lower white calico in this case. It's just because there's a lot more contrast in the side here, a lot more white at the belly, brighter sides. Like again, this kind of orangish tan color will turn white in a calico later on. I've not seen many Lemon Blasts that are crazy bright up the sides, but again, I could be totally wrong. So I have her listed as a Lemon Blast possible calico. Again, I think she'll prove, but did not say for certain that she is calico. So the new owner understands that and bought her as a really nice Lemon Blast that's possibly calico. Still a cool combo though. Really simple, really nice. Okay, the next up after that, this girl is also available, and this is a female Super Enchi. Again, the first thing we look at, bam, perfectly tied together behind the head, eye bands, same super reduction, really kind of funky looking pattern. I like the Enchi stuff a lot. We need to do more with it. It's also somewhat brightening, so as you stack Enchi on it, it seems to get a little bit brighter too. This one I don't think is calico, although it could be, but I just don't think so based on the other ones, so I did not list it as such. Obviously not pastel in this case. Just a really nice female Super Enchi. You know, could possibly be calico, but I don't think so. She's also available. And then last but not least, this is basically what we were trying to hit, although I wanted this in a scaleless head variety and I didn't get it, and that's okay. Could always try again some other time. But this is the combo I was hoping for, hopefully to hit with a scaleless head, and that is this male Super Enchi Calico Pinstripe. Now, I don't think there's pastel in here at all. There's obviously no scaleless head. Definitely Super Enchi pin, that's easy enough to see in the pattern. Definitely calico with the high white to orange sides and the speckling in that. The weird thing is, and this is a male and we're gonna keep him, the weird thing is we finally hit, you know, I guess this is something we should be trying for, but we finally hit our first snake with a kink. This one's fairly mild. It's just kind of like a Hunchback of Notre Dame kind of thing. It's like right here, just a little tiny bump in the spine. It does not affect him whatsoever. He's eating, he's passing waste without a problem. He's plenty responsive. He doesn't even seem to be like phased by, you know, touch of it or anything. We just got a little tiny kink at the top. Really bizarre. Other than that, his tail is actually straight. it's just got a little rise in the spine there. So we're gonna go ahead and keep him. I normally would not sell a quote-unquote deformed snake anyway, and if I did, I would probably just sell it as pet only. You know, it depends. If he's thriving and doing exceptionally well in that, and he's eating and he gets, you know, 500, 600, 700 grams, he's doing really good and everything else looks fine, I don't see anything wrong with breeding him, honestly. It's not hindering his existence, it's just a slight, you know, abnormality. And as long as everything else is good, then I don't see an issue with it. If he's struggling, if it seems like he's not passing correctly, you know, whatever, then he's just gonna be a really cool, unique pet for us. But either way, this was the combo I wanted, but it didn't get Scaleless Head, unfortunately, but still looks awesome. Calico Super Enchi Pinstripe. With a twist. Alright, there you go, guys. So what do you think? First of all, super cool clutch. A lot of awesome variety in there. I love what Calico does. I'm definitely going to work with that a little bit farther. In fact, if you watched, I think it's last week's video. By the way, I can't believe I haven't said it yet. Time this goes live, Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm like, yeah, I'm all out of sorts. This year has been a mess for everyone, but Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all of you guys that are watching this, at least when it goes live. And I hope it's a decent end to an otherwise bizarre year. But back to what we were talking about. I'm definitely going to be working on the Calico stuff and that down the road. If you watched last week's video, at the end I showed that we have a dreamsicle male now. I think I'm going to go that route too. The Calico in pied is really nice, so it'd be interesting to see how it works in dreamsicle. Aside from that, leave a comment down below. What do you think about that kink, the kink in that last male? Do you think it's an issue? Would you breed it? What are your thoughts? Obviously, I'm not going to euthanize him. He's doing just fine. But it more comes down to the question of what do you think about breeding one that has a quote-unquote deformity, as long as everything else is good. It would be no different, in my opinion, of breeding one that's got one eye or no eyes, like Helen, or, you know, whatever. So I'm curious to see what you think down in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Probably going to be another clutch update, because I'm like way behind on those. So hope you guys are all doing well. So don't forget, every Saturday night, 7 p.m. my time, so 6 Pacific, 9 East, is the Mixology open mic night. This coming Saturday, at least at the time of this video going live, not going to have one. It's Christmas weekend, obviously. So we're going to give you guys a break. We'll pick it up next week, and we've got some really cool guests. I'm lined up all the way into February at this point, so we've got some really cool guests lined up. Stay tuned for all that. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you next week in the new video. See ya.